but which actually turns out to be a fairy tale with virtue triumphant, evil utterly vanquished, a positive, uplifting message, a gutsy, kick-ass female lead, and if at all possible, unicorns. Also, I told him, what they want is something that looks new and completely original, but is actually the same old story we've all known and loved since we were kids. Exactly, he said. But knowing you, what you'd give them would be something genuinely new and original disguised as the same old, same old. And if I were to put that on in my theatre, after a night or two, the actors would start to feel terribly lonely. So I went away. As it happens, I wrote him a positive, uplifting piece of shit about a siege where virtue triumphed, evil was vanquished, and Andronica looked stunning in slinky black leather as she kicked enemy ass from one side of the proscenium to the other. It ran 26 nights and more or less broke even, so that was all right. Virtue triumphant, evil utterly vanquished, a positive, uplifting message, a gutsy, kick-ass female lead, and, if at all possible, unicorns. I have to confess, I'm no scholar, so for all I know there may be unicorns, in Permia or somewhere like that. So maybe one component of that list does actually exist in real life. Wouldn't like to bet the rent on it, though. Chapter 2. I left the theatre and walked down Fishtrap Hill into Paradise. Curious thing about this man's city. All the really horrible bits of it have absolutely charming names. Like the old flower market, which at one time must have been a place where you could buy flowers, but not in my lifetime. It burned down in that big fire about 5 years ago, and nobody's missed it. The inhabitants moved out and separated strictly on theme lines. All the blues went to Old Stairs, all the greens to Paradise. With the result that there's no longer anywhere in town where blues and greens can be found living side by side. No great loss. Theme-related murders are down about 10% since the flower market went up in smoke. It's so much easier to tolerate your deadly enemies if you never see them from one year's end to the next. A respectable, professional man like me has to have a reason for setting foot in Paradise. Not something you do frivolously, or unless you absolutely had to. I walked down a couple of alleys with that dreadful twitchy feeling you simply can't help, like painfully sore eyes in the back of your head. Then stopped at one of 20 or so identical, anonymous, soot-black doors, wrapped a bit of cloth round my knuckles, and knocked 3 times. The door opened, and this woman stood there staring at me. You wouldn't put her on the stage. You wouldn't dare to. Stereotypes and caricatures are all very well, our life's blood if the truth be told, but there's such a thing as overdoing it. So, if you want an obnoxious old hag, you go for 2 or 3 out of the recognized iconography. Wrinkles, hook nose, wispy thin white hair like a sheep's wool caught in brambles, shriveled hands like claws, all that. You don't use them all, because it's too much, which is why you don't get much real life on the stage. Nobody would believe it. "Hello, Mother," I said. She gave me a sour look. "Oh," she said, "it's you. Keeping well? Like you give a damn." You don't stand talking in doorways in Paradise. "Can I come in?" I asked. "Why? What do you want?" She loves me, really.